Hello gang, Sharpshot21 here. Back at the transmission again. Going to do some replacement on some bearings today, I think. I want to get all the bearings done, and then I want to start putting clutches in. So clutches are going to stay on the table. We're going to hit bearings first. I'm going to start with this drum. We'll hit some of the ones in the overdrive. And then we will hit, a handful of other ones. I don't have the correct tool for getting the bearings out. I do have somewheres a set of bearing race seal drivers of various sizes. So we'll be using those to install. Can't really use them for uninstall. Well, I might be able to some of these, depending on the size. So let's get to it. Alright, so I don't know how big some of these are. I only have so many sizes of tool here. So there's two bushings on this drum. I don't know which drum this is. I'll try to underlay it here. One is inset into the drum itself. The other one is sleeved. So we're going to tap the one that's sleeved out. And I've got bearing set and fresh bearings for it. See, this drum. It's coming out. Yeah, that is shmoo on the outside of this bearing, so that needed to come out. And we're going to clean the insides of these bearings and the bearing races. Now, near as I can tell, this was not staked. Now, I want to try, because there's an oil groove inside here, to line the upper end of the oil groove up with these two channels here. And just for security's sake, I'm going to put a dollop of green bearing set on it. Part of me wants to put this in the press and press it in that way, and so I think I'm going to. We'll be back. Alright, that works a treat, pushing those in. So that is back where it should be. Clean up the bearing set. And that is ready to go. So I think I want to take the clutch pack for this drum. And I've got the tray here. So my plan is I'm going to build this out, steels and clutches from the new package. Clutches are going to go in here to soak in ATF. Because they need to soak before you can reassemble the transmission. But I want to build the clutch pack out Toss the steels back in. In their order, clutches go in there. Put the whole thing aside, we'll start on the next one. That's the plan. Taking a look at the steels and the clutches. It's going to be this set. So let's count steels here. Steels on clutch. 4 reaction ring. Okay. I feel like I'm missing a clutch. No, I'm not missing the clutch. Just feels like I should be missing the clutch. All stacks in correctly. Two, 3. that looks to be correct. Okay, so it's going to be steel, clutch, steel, clutch, steel, clutch, steel, clutch, reaction plate. Those are the correct size rings. 4 clutches, 4 clutches, 4 steels, 4 steels. So we're done with these. I'm not going to throw them out just yet. I'm going to toss them in the drain pan. Because I want to see if I can do a mod on the overdrive set when we get there. Okay. Alright. First reverse drum, or first the reverse drum is done. Track drum is done, or whatever this one is, second. Same thing here. One, two, three, 4 steels and 3 clutches. gets me 4. So I'm partly thinking I need one more clutch in there, which is what I thought. So this gets me the 4 for this pack. I'm going to grab my little tool here. That appears to be correct. I like how that feels. Again, we'll put this back together. Alright. That one is, those 2 drums are done. These steels and clutches are so freaking hammered, it's not worth saving. Okay. This bearing is trashed. I mean, inside it's not bad, but it's not great. This thrust washer, though, is hammered, so I've got new ones of these coming. So I'll figure out how to drive that out. And I think it looks like that one. It ain't that one. I think that this bearing kit is for everything from a 40 to a 44. So my sneaking suspicion there's going to be excess bearings in there. We're going to use the press again to shove this bearing out, shove the fresh one in, and hit the bearing set again. So I'll be back when that's done. Alright, bearing is in on this one. Now the bearing I received was a little bit thicker than the bearing that came out. This side, it needs to be flush or below flush. This side it can be slightly proud because there's a thrust washer that lives there and a planetary carrier that lives there. Obviously this bearing lives there. And then this whole thing goes in. And then this thrust washer goes on there. So it needs to be flush on this side because there's washers that go on. The inner side can sit proud because there's a thrust washer there. Keep that in mind. As you go to assemble this. So those two are done. This is done. That clutch set's done. Put that drum there. Now we only have 2 more drums to do. So it's 2 sets of clutches and steels. This is the inner stack up. Yes. This is the inner stack up. And then And that's the outer stack up. Yeah. So I think this stack of them is the correct side. But that's correct. Okay, yes. And I can't do the mod I was hoping to do. Okay. Alright, yes. Three, four, five. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, cool. That is the correct stack up. Alright. Alright. 2 extra steels, 2 extra clutches for that set. Is what it is. Now, we've got 4 clutches for this last one. I might still bring something up. With the older steels and older clutches. Because this 3 steel, 2 clutch arrangement isn't the greatest. And I'll put the page in the manual in that basically says you can pull this out and put in 1 more stack and use an extra steel in place of that ring, and it looks like it works. So I'm tempted to do that. And that gives me 1 more steel in place of, or 1 more clutch in place. So I'm going to verify that that's possible. And then this outer reaction plate is probably going to come apart. Or come out and get replaced with these 2. So with that said, I'm going to toss all of these clutches as well too. That sets everything, I think. So that's all our clutches and steels. I'm going to set this set aside, just so I don't do anything stupid with it. This set I'm going to set aside as well. Again, just so I don't do anything stupid with it. And the trash set's in the trash. I'm going to keep these as spares. So, getting into good shape, I think. Now, let's see what else we got with bushings in it that could be replaced. This drum has some. I did that drum. This drum doesn't have any. And this one, that's our reverse planet. Pretty sure that's our reverse planet. This drum comes apart with a wire snap ring right here. I might not even replace these bushings. They actually look pretty decent. I'm just going to say screw it. And leave those in place. Set that clutch over there. It seems like they gave me one extra clutch on everything, which I'll take. All right. I would love to be able to replace this tail shaft bushing, but that's not happening. So I can get these two out, but I don't have a small enough punch to drive that back in. I may have a big enough socket, however, to drive it in. A 1 1/16 inch socket will drive that in. The trick is, how do I get the bottom one out? That may work. Let's see if an inch through. Nope. Inch just falls right through, so that's a problem. So we're going to put this in here like this. Okay, it's going. Yep, she's coming. Ta-da! That's out. Cool. And I didn't do any damage on the inside. This one was enough of a crush that I am not going to bother setting it in. Inner race, outer race, we'll push out with the socket, and then we'll press in fresh ones. This is the new one for this end, but that goes in last. Inch and a 16th socket falls right in. That whole stack up needs to go on the press.